Finding problems? That's easy. They exist in every community. I'm Terry Springs, your host. We're looking deeper, and we are talking solutions, finding out how we all can make a difference. Now on Talking Solutions, welcome back, Spencer Stewart, Chancellor for WGU Nevada. It's nice to have you back in studio.
Terry, it's great to be with you today. WGU Nevada, just to recap for some of your listeners, has been in Nevada for over 2 years, and it's been warmly embraced by the state. We have just under 3,000 students today, and over that 2-year period, we've graduated close to 900. Many of our graduates are graduating in one of our 4 academic colleges, our College of Business, our College of IT, our Teachers College, and our College of Health Professions, which is primarily nursing. These are graduates who are in the workforce helping build Nevada's economy. One of the things that we've done since we launched in the state just over 2 years ago was offer a number of scholarships to help deserving individuals finally complete that degree. As you'll remember, Terry, we focus on the adult learner. We focus on that individual that has some college but no degree, meaning that they started college some years ago, and now because of life circumstances, because of opportunities within their profession, they do need that degree in order to advance, in order to have a better life for themselves and for their families. That's who we focus on, and Veterans Day is right around the corner. One of the scholarships that we have just launched is our Military Appreciation Scholarship, and this is for active duty, also for dependents of military families, as well as those that have served our country before. So this is a scholarship up to $2,000 for 4 terms, so each term there would be a discount of around $5,000. Now that might not sound like a lot, Terry, but our tuition is one of the lowest in the country. And we have a different tuition model, so instead of paying per credit like most of us did when we went to college, This is a subscription model. A student pays a flat fee for a full academic year. It's $6,000, but that allows the student to take as many courses as he or she can get through during that period of time, as much as they can learn during that period of time. And with this innovative approach, as well as others, we have found that our students graduate with a 4-year degree from us within about 3 years.
Spencer Stewart is with us, Chancellor for WGU Nevada. And is it obvious or not that WGU Nevada is an online learning experience?
That's one of the unique differences for WGU and WGU Nevada, in that it is wholly online. And as more and more universities put their courses and programs online, it's becoming less of a differentiating point. I think today, roughly 1 out of every 3 undergraduate students is taking at a minimum 1 online course per semester. So it very much is becoming mainstream. But the key differentiating point for WGU and WGU Nevada is our competency-based approach to education, built on the premise that instead of measuring seat time, how many hours a student is in a physical classroom, we're actually measuring learning. We care more about what a student doesn't know than what they do know. And so individuals that have been in the workforce for quite some time, through life and lived experience, through what they've learned on the job, if they're able to demonstrate mastery in that course area, that topic, then they can quickly move on. Instead of spending 15 or 16 weeks in a course for a semester, it really allows them to accelerate and move on. It's not gravitating towards the lowest common denominator, if you will. It's very personalized in that way, Terry.
I see so many benefits to the way learning is offered through WGU Nevada. With it being online, it works on my schedule. Also, the subscription-based learning where you buy in for a semester and you can take as many classes as you can get in during that time, and the lower cost. All of these things combine to give those people who have had some college but have not completed that degree the chance to go back, finish, and achieve at a higher level. WGU Nevada gives you a faster path to that degree.
You're right. I think in today's fast-paced lifestyle, where all of us are trying to cram more into our schedules, some of us are succeeding, some are finding it challenging. I think the key for the higher education sector moving forward is identifying those barriers that are preventing students from succeeding. I think we can all agree that we need not just more individuals in this country to go on to college, but we need more of them to complete sooner. I think this country, on a per capita basis, sends more of its students to college than any other country in the world. But we don't fare that well when it comes to those students actually leaving with a credential of value. And some of these barriers are the ones that you mentioned. Busy lifestyle, we have work demands, family demands, community demands. How do we make a rewarding, high-quality educational experience that works for a student when he or she can take advantage of that? And that really is the premise and promise of WGU Nevada. This is a model that's been in existence for the last 20 years. We've seen incredible success. Today, we have roughly 85,000 students across the country. We have over 90,000 graduates. Once again, this is a university that, relative to the higher education sector, is just in its infancy. But we have proved this concept, and we're proving it here in Nevada. Nevada is unique, just as every state is unique in terms of our economy, in terms of the composition of our workforce and the industry sectors that they find themselves in. We need to be more flexible, not less. One of the great things about WGU and the high-quality teaching and learning experience that it provides is that our graduates, on average, within 4 years, are seeing a $19,000 increase in their annual salary.
We like hearing that.
That's a wonderful return on investment because the cost of a 4-year degree is less than that. So their return on investment, that window, is very, very short. Individuals are not having to work 5, 10, 15, 20 years in order to reach that break-even point with their degree and investing in that degree. This has a much shorter payoff period.
Well, student debt across the country has been just tremendous. And I can't imagine the kind of stress that that puts on someone who is a new graduate trying to get established in their area of study. They're trying to get steady and on their feet and functioning, and they have this big pile of debt looming behind them. Not so much the case with WGU Nevada.
And there are a few ways of looking at it, Terry. Stress for the individual, stress for the community in which that individual resides, and stress for the country. If you look at where we are as a national community, you have collective debt of $1.3 trillion. You have over 40 million Americans that carry some form of college debt, and that provides limitations and challenges. One of them that comes to mind is forcing people into professions in order to pay that student debt back. Not necessarily what they intended to do when they started their program. It's a big limiting factor. So we want to create programs at our university that empower people to go into the fields where they will have the most success individually as well as the most success within that community because of what they bring with them.
That makes sense because of the cost of education at many other universities. Because it's so expensive to study in the first place, you might as well direct yourself to a high-paying field when you get out, even though it might not be your passion.
That's right. That's right.
All of the courses of study that you offer through WGU Nevada have to do with very active fields.
That's right. Across our 4 academic colleges, we have over 60 undergraduate and graduate degrees, and we have been focusing on those areas where a state or community needs to grow, looking at job growth projections, look at the changing industry sectors. These are the programs that we feel will have most value for individuals and for communities. And as a private nonprofit university that relies almost exclusively on student tuition revenue, and I might add, this is student tuition revenue that we have not adjusted for within the last 9 years. We have not increased our tuition for the last 9 years. I don't know of any other university or college that can say that, especially in light of the Great Recession, as state investment has decreased in order to meet the needs of other areas in the community. Many universities and colleges have had to offset that by increasing tuition. We are very student-focused. Students are at the center of all of our decision-making. And there is a promise that runs through this entire university that we want to have highly motivated and qualified and competent graduates that are able to make a difference in their community, in their personal lives, without being saddled by debt. And for that reason, And one of the things that we've done over the last few years is create a responsible borrowing initiative where we've seen wonderful success. So the students today with us are actually taking out less debt than years before. And it really is based on this counseling process that we do with our students. For federal financial aid, students are given a dollar amount, what they're eligible for. And in many cases, what they're eligible for is more than the cost of their education. And so we advise students to only take out what they need to cover the cost of the education itself. And over the course of this multi-year initiative, we've reduced the amount that students have taken out by over 40%. And when you're talking about a student body that is over 80,000 students, that equates to over $300 million that we've helped students save.
Spencer Stewart is with us today on Talking Solutions, and we're discussing WGU Nevada. The word that pops into my mind is that you guys are very flexible in so many ways. And the fact that you just mentioned that over the past how many years you haven't raised rates for the school?
9 years.
That's unheard of. It seems like with every new term, they're always saying classes are going to go up by this percentage and books are always expensive and the cost for colleges and universities is always spiraling up. But you guys are holding the line. Plus, with your competency-based learning approach, where they can prove their competency and advance through the courses faster, thereby bringing the cost down again. And because you have, as you said, the subscription model, all of this works together to make it faster and less expensive.
That's right. That really is at the heart of what we're trying to accomplish, not just in Nevada, but across the country. When you have an industry that over the last 20 years has increased the cost of receiving an education by a factor of 19, it's gone up 19 times faster than the average household income across this country. That's not sustainable, and something needs to change. One of the great lines someone told me a few weeks ago is, while we might not be big enough to change the world, we're big enough to show other people how to do it. The hope is that as an industry, we can come together and figure out how to make the receipt of a high-quality education something that is sustainable. I think we're getting to the point in this country where in some pockets we are pricing students out of the market for receiving an education. And that's frustrating for society. It's frustrating for individuals because now more than ever, one needs a college education in order to be successful. It used to be the high school diploma was a ticket to the middle class, and now it very much is a college degree that is that required ticket.
And we've already proven that minimum wage jobs won't even rent you an apartment. So if you want to live, you need to be in an area of study where you can get yourself out of minimum wage work.
Absolutely. So I'm proud of what we've been able to do over the last 2 years in Nevada. I think the concept that Western Governors University has pioneered over the last 20 years has been proven if we look at the outcomes of the university. One of the things that recently came out by the U.S. Department of Education is institutional default rates. And this is something that we're quite proud of. If you look at the classes or cohorts of students as they graduate from an institution and move on, and as they start trying to repay their student loans, our cohort default rate is less than half the national average and is one of the lowest in the state of Nevada at 4.6. And this year, that rate actually increased nationally, but we buck the trend, bringing our rate down. Last year it was 4.8. This year it's 4.6. I think we'll continue to see that rate go down year over year. And that's very positive for us because it means that the educational experience and the competencies that were gained through a student's programs are now paying off in the workforce. They're being productive, and their employers, their organizations are seeing this and are rewarding them accordingly.
I appreciate the fact that a graduate from WGU doesn't face crippling debt, which obviously has a lot to do with your default rate being so low. Plus, because of competency-based learning, they get to get that degree in a shorter amount of time, which also translates to less cost to start with. And it also gets them out into the workplace where they can have those higher incomes so that they can achieve, excel, and face that debt that's not so bad.
That's right. And Terry, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention scholarships. We're assisting the state of Nevada with a Teach Nevada scholarship program This is a program that was started in 2015 by the Nevada legislature and Governor Sandoval and the Nevada Department of Education, encouraging individuals to enter the teaching profession. Nevada has always struggled with having enough high-quality teachers in every classroom. This is an initiative to help with that, in many cases, dire challenge. And as a father of 3 young children, I have seen the incredible value of an engaging, competent, caring teacher, because my children have wonderful teachers. Recently, the Nevada Department of Education, as they oversee this program, awarded WGU Nevada close to $325,000 to award 18, in essence, full-ride scholarships. We have already awarded 6 of the 18, and we're encouraging those who have an interest in entering the profession to consider this particular program. WGU Nevada's Teachers College is one of the most highly ranked programs in the country in terms of overall quality. We received an award by a National Council of Teacher Quality. In fact, WGU scored in the top 1% of all teachers' colleges across the country.
Top 1%?
Top 1%. So there were 17 other teacher preparation programs across the country where we scored on a similar plane. And when you have over 2,000 teacher preparation programs across the country, it gives you a sense of how well WGU did along with these 16 other institutions. So we're quite proud of that, and we're quite proud of the fact that we've been able to assist both Washoe County and Clark County and the 15 other school districts throughout Nevada with their teacher shortage, helping attract new entrants into the profession, as well as helping teachers stay engaged once they're in the profession. I would encourage your listeners to go to our website, nevada.wgu.edu. There's a scholarship tab that they can click on, and it will provide a list of all of the current scholarship opportunities. The Military Appreciation Scholarship will be at the top of the list. There's also the Teach Nevada Scholarship Program and a number of other programs as well.
You're already talking about a faster, less expensive way of getting that education that's so important. But also you have scholarship opportunities that can either cut the cost dramatically or, as you said, could be a full-ride scholarship in the case of teaching.
That's right.
Who would not go check this out on your website?
That's a great question for your listeners, Tara. It's a wonderful question. And we have a wonderful enrollment team that's there should your listeners have any questions once they start looking at this material. It's one of the things we do really, really well, even though we're a wholly online institution. I've noticed just within the 2 years that I've been with the university that I've been able to develop really rich and meaningful relationships with my colleagues that are located across the country. Rarely do we actually see each other in person, but we've been able to develop really great relationships. And that's true of our faculty with our students. We pair each of our students with a faculty mentor. And that faculty mentor stays with that student until he or she finishes their program. And one of the highlights of my profession in this role is our commencement, where our students, in many cases, are able to see their faculty mentor in person for the first time after 2 years, after 3 years. And it's this wonderful reunion where faculty are hugging students and vice versa. And in many cases, these are relationships that extend well beyond that period in which they're enrolled with us. These become lifelong friendships.
So much of our lives these days is lived online to start with, and online education just makes sense.
It does.
So there are a number of different scholarship opportunities. We mentioned that there is one that you have for the military. We're coming up on Veterans Day.
Absolutely. In fact, just in light of recent events here in Las Vegas, one cannot think of those that sacrifice for this country, whether in a military capacity or in a first responder capacity. These are individuals that really warrant the admiration of this community, the national community, because of the service that they provide. And we certainly want to be cognizant of that with our military population. About 10% of our students have some sort of affiliation with military. They're either active duty military themselves or former military or dependents of military families. And that says a lot about the flexibility that's needed. These are individuals that are constantly deployed, are overseas, they have challenging schedules, but this is a program that certainly works for them.
Never stop learning. There are so many opportunities with WGU. It's worth taking a look. we always ask, as part of Talking Solutions, what can we do to help you? Getting the word out or sending someone your way who might be a scholarship recipient. What do you think?
I think you nailed it, Terry. If anyone were to put that question to me, it would be to help get the word out. We're a fairly young institution here in Nevada, just over 2 years old, and close to half of our students come to us because of word of mouth and referrals. Our students are very active in the community. They're wonderful ambassadors for us, and everyone is networked these days. And so I would encourage your listeners to just help us get the word out, because I've seen it firsthand. This education we provide truly does change lives, not just in the short term, but very much in the long term too. It's this intergenerational effect. As parents receive that degree, it really sets the tone for their children and their grandchildren. It has this wonderful spillover effect that changes family trees.
It's a legacy of learning, something that you definitely want to instill in your kids.
That's right.
It's WGU Nevada. Spencer Stewart is the chancellor. I'm very excited about all of the scholarship opportunities. How many times have all of us as Southern Nevadans heard about the ongoing need, for instance, with the Clark County School District? We always need teachers. And you're telling me that you even have a scholarship program that could give someone a full ride to becoming one of those very needed teachers?
That's right. We, along with probably a dozen other institutions of higher education within the state, are part of this Teach Nevada Scholarship initiative. And as a higher education executive, it's all about helping individuals find the right pathway. And that very well could be at WGU Nevada for some of them, or it could be at UNLV, it could be at Nevada State, it could be at the College of Southern Nevada, it could be at Sierra Nevada College. There are a number of fine institutions out there that may be a better fit for some of your listeners, but I would encourage them to look at all of the offerings, all of the institutions, because at the end of the day, we're all in this together, serving this community, serving individuals, helping them get from point A to point B in their lives and in their career.
I would encourage that too, because especially from the viewpoint of WGU Nevada, you know that your program compares wonderfully, not just in our area, but nationally. You said the top 1%?
That's right, the top 1%. And this is a national university in that we have students in all 50 states.
What am I forgetting about WGU Nevada?
Terry, you have been very, very thorough, as usual. Once again, I would just encourage your listeners, there's always that question in the back of our minds, can I do one more thing? Can I take on another initiative? And I guess my statement would be that over the last 20 years, this organization has tried to refine its teaching and learning delivery and arrangement such that when individuals do have that question, I think there's comfort in knowing that we have really looked at this from the perspective of busy working adults. And if we have close to 90,000 students today who are doing this, then it's good proof to me that it will work for many of your listeners who might be wrestling with that particular question right now. How do I do this? I've got a full-time job, I've got family demands, I've got other demands. Can I do this? And I think the answer is absolutely. Just because we have such a wonderful support network throughout the university, we want to see students succeed. It doesn't do us any good to enroll a student that we know will not succeed. At the same time, students have to be committed to their program. We basically require 15 to 20 hours a week. And it's no secret why our mascot is the night owl.
Those commercials are the best. I love those. I'm sorry.
No.
I know that's off topic. Those commercials I love.
My marketing department loves hearing that.
I love those commercials.
It's because our students are night owls. That is when they are doing their coursework. That is when they're doing their studying. That is when they're writing their essays and doing their assessments. It's at night, and we support them every step of the way.
I wasn't thinking night owl. I always think of it as wise owl. The little owl getting covered with the paperwork, and it's please make it stop. The cutest ads ever. Just wonderful. So it could be night owl, could be wise owl.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's right.
I think it's both.
It's both. The name of that owl is Sage. So
yeah?
It goes to your point of being wise.
It makes great sense. I am not ashamed to be a huge proponent of the model of learning that's offered through WGU. To make it available online, why not marry today's technology with education? It makes so much sense. And to make it more available on my schedule at a much lower cost, it's faster. I just don't see any downsides here.
No, very little, but tremendous upside.
Well, I don't believe you should ever stop learning. So if you have a passion and you want to enter some course of study or maybe continuing something that you started before life got in the way and you stopped your schooling, it's a great chance to go back and be successful with WGU Nevada. And it is nevada.wgu.edu. All right. nevada.wgu.edu. Scholarships are available. Some of the hottest areas of study are available. I'm a fan of online learning, and I'm a fan of WGU Nevada. And Spencer Stewart, Chancellor, it is delightful having you in our studio for Talking Solutions.
Well, thank you so much for having me, Terry. We always appreciate your support. Thank you.